Hi, good evening, and welcome to the first day of our herbal class. We're going to be talking about a few things in this video. One is going to be the files that we've uploaded to the Facebook, and there will be more files uploaded as the week goes on. We'll also be talking about the freshness of the herbs as well as how to store them. And eventually, after we've learned a few herbs, we'll be talking about how to make teas and make your own blend from what we've learned. And that way, you can start blending your own teas and things like that. But the first thing we're going to talk about are the files that have been uploaded. It is very important when you have herbs to always know the expiration date as part of the keeping them fresh. So I've uploaded a file that you can use to go through your kitchen or whatever containers you have, mark down your herbs, and put down the expiration date. If you have herbs like these that you've gotten from like Rose Mountain Herbs, then I suggest when you put the label on here, unlike I have, you put the date on there to when you bought them so you have an idea of how old they actually are. The next one that I put up there was the herbal properties. This will help you in the class as we go along. It's like an easy reference sheet so that say you want to look for an herb that works for swelling, you'll be able to go down the Excel sheet for swelling, find check marks, and you'll find cinnamon, clovers, nutmeg, things like that, so you know what herb you can work with working on a swelling potion or concoction that will help you in whatever your needs are. The third one that you will be using for each and every one of the herbs we learn is an introduction to the herb itself. We go over how it tastes, what it looks like, how it smells, how it feels in your hand, how it affects you once you taste it. What this does is give you a very intimate introduction to the herb itself. It also puts it in what we would call like cell memory or muscle memory. So when you taste it, your body will automatically go, oh, that's what this is for, and react accordingly. Later I'll be adding the vocabulary words because of course you will be moving and coming across, hold on one moment. Koa, get out. Sorry about that. You will be moving into an area where you'll see the word for fever and swelling to be the medical terminology. And you'll at least want to understand it. So if nothing else, you'll have a basic understanding when you go to the doctor of what they're trying to say to you or what they're saying and they don't think you understand. We'll also be doing some how-to videos, how to make teas and do blends, infusions, oils, creams, different things like that. You may have this information already, you may not, but we'll be going over a couple different ways to do each of these things so that you have a variety of ways to do this. Okay, now we're going to move into the herbal freshness. Okay, now we're going to move into herbal freshness and how to store your herbs. What you see here, besides my notebook in my kitchen, which is very homey, you won't get the sterile kitchens in my video, sorry. What you see here is a variety of ways to store your herbs. You have your containers that you can buy at any food store, like Food Lion, Kroger. These are mason jars. You usually use them for making freezer or cabinet food such as tomatoes and whatnot. These are great for storing your herbs in. This is elderflower, osha root, and of course licorice in a powdered form. You can also, of course, because most of this will be in your kitchen, get your McCormick herbs. You like the name? And it, of course, comes in the plastic, which is food grade, which is good for storage as well. Now, if you order your herbs from places like Rose Mountain Herbs, they will come in a container or a plastic bag like this. If you choose not to have them in this bag, you can buy large plastic containers that are food grade, or you can buy the really huge mason jars that you can store them in. If not, this is just fine. Just make sure you push the air out, of course, and seal it up. That way they'll last longer. And again, be sure that you put the date in which you bought your herbs on here so that you know how old they are from the time you receive them. If you have your stuff from Mountain Rose Herbs, of course, you get the package number and the date that it was done. So you know, like this Nettles was packaged in February 2014. This is a huge bag, and we actually use this quite a bit in my household. You throw it into everything, as you can see. I've added it to our chicken over here, as well as some osha root for cold and flu, as well as to boost the immune system. Okay, now we're going to move. Oh, Another thing I wanted you to know that your herbs over time lose freshness and potency. So remember when you're buying your herbs off the shelf at the stores that they may have been sitting there for a while, so they may not be as potent as say as if you'd ordered them from Rose Mountain Herbs, okay? Over a year's time, they begin to become less and less potent. It does not mean you can't use them. They still hold their flavor and their energetic properties. So if you find that your herbs are a year or two old and you no longer want to use them for making tinctures or medicine, what you can do is take those same herbs and you can make a tea for your plants. You can use them to make your bath salts, your bath soaks, things of that nature. If you do magical stuff like that, the energetics of those plants are still there. My suggestion is to ask the Deva of the plant if she would, be kind enough to help you out, and that will still give you the same energetic properties that you had in a metaphysical sense. Now we're going to move into how do you know the freshness of your herbs? How can you tell with your senses? What I'm looking at here is a small bowl, and this is my acacia bowl, and I'm fond of my trees and my acacia. And inside of here we have a powder, a root, and a leaf. If you can see that, we have osha, licorice, and nettles, okay? Now, with the powder, you can pick it up because we're going to use our sense of touch. And you can feel it in your hand. Is it lumpy? Is it hard? Is it soft? Another thing you want to do, follow my hand, is smell it. How does that herb smell? Does it smell fresh? Does it have a stale sense to it? And of course, what you're going to do, and you're going to pay attention once you do this part, is put it on your tongue. And as you do this, you're going to pay attention to how it tastes, how it feels. What reaction does your body have? The licorice is kind of almost like oatmeal. You get that feeling, that sliminess that comes from oatmeal as soon as you put it in your mouth. But you also feel, I feel it in my stomach. So you'll put food in your mouth and certain aspects of your body will react to it. So with this, the licorice automatically goes to my intestines. So these are the kind of things you want to test when you do your herbs, okay? Now when we're looking at, you also want to look at your herbs to see what they look like. Looking at this, you can tell that this nettles is green. So it's very fresh. Herbs tend to lose a little color as they get older. So you kind of look at it, see if it's a pale brown or it's starting to get kind of brownish. Then you'll know that it's getting older. With this, the same rule applies. You feel it between your fingers. How does that feel? What's the consistency? You smell it. You can smell the freshness in it. You can smell, as my many friends and my children say, it smells green. That's the chlorophyll that you're smelling inside of the herb. And again, you'll taste that. Nettles has an interesting combination with licorice, just so you know. I may be making a tea of this shortly. But of course it's dry. It's bland, but I can taste the chlorophyll as soon as I put it in my mouth. It tastes green to me, as if something could actually taste green. It does. And then you have your root. These are roots that come from dandelions, burdock, but this is osha root. You can smell osha root, and I love the way it smells because it smells like licorice. And it's very fresh. What you would do with this, you would always take a small piece and break it off. As you can tell, this is a little older because it's a little harder to break. When it's young and fresh, it's best to cut your roots into small pieces for storage. You're going to take this and put it in your mouth. Now, osha comes off initially as sweet. You can chew it up. And like for this, I feel it automatically in my nose and in the back of my throat. Osha is good if you have a cold, sore throat, or congestion. But we'll get more into what each of these herbs here do as time goes on. So, this is the video we have this evening, for our freshness, for the files we have and for how you store your herbs. If you have any questions whatsoever, please post them at the bottom of this video, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything you'd like to know or anything we may have left out of this video. Thanks, and I'll see you on our next video.